We're going to look at positional roles today. It's a return of Know Your Roles, and we're going to start off with one of my favourite roles in the game to build your tactic with. It is the Masala. Welcome in everyone, hope you're well. So last year I did a full series on Know Your Roles. Basically we break down positional roles and see how you can fit them into your tactic, what type of players you're going to need, and we're going to start that off today with the Manzala. This will be a full series, we'll cover some big roles, so let me know down below what roles you want me to cover and I'll do my best. And one final thing before we get to the video, just remember that I do also stream on Twitch a few times a week, so float on by over there. We're building that channel as well. If you want to watch some live streams, that's the place to be. My link is down below or in the about section. So it's the Manzala today, and first up, what the hell, if you're new to this game, what the hell is a Manzala? Well, we've got the description right there. Let's have a look. Basically, Manzala will start central, but he's got more of a license to float to the right hand or left hand side, depending on which side you put him at. Meaning he's going to operate in half spaces, kind of in between the gaps between the central midfield and out wide. Now he's an aggressive player, so he's going to defend higher up the pitch, so it really does suit high pressing styles. But like it says there, he's got less defensive responsibility, so you're going to need to think about that when you're building your tactic with the players around him. Support duty, he will do a bit more work for you. He will track a bit back and do some defensive work, but if you flip it to attack, he's basically going to want to stay in that attacking third. So he's basically an attacking midfielder who likes to drift. That's what Football Manager says about the role. I like to think of today's players in the real life so you can get a better vision of what type of player it is. Right, there's three boys they're going to know a lot about. You've got KDB, you've got Pedri from Barca, and you've got Paul Pogba. Now all three start central and then they have the license to move on outside, have a bit more freedom and influence the game in those areas as well. All three slightly different. Kevin De Bruyne favours the more direct, aggressive approach, running with the ball and whipping in those crosses. Pedri's a more cultured player, a bit more like David Silva if you like, and Pogba, granted his potential is up and down, but when he gets it moving he can do it all. Three really good examples there. There's loads of different examples in the modern game. Let me know down below after this video of your examples of a Manzala. What sort of system does a Manzala fit in though? That's the big question. Now we discussed this in the recent build your tactic videos when we got to the midfield area, but where could we possibly have the Manzala? Now I did say I would err on the side of caution if you're using two in central midfield positions, purely because of his tendency to roam about and not track back as much. So for me, you need a bit of coverage behind him. Now this City replication that I recently did basically has that in Rodri, who is sitting there on defend duty, holding his position, allowing the Manzala and the playmaker to roam on. So De Bruyne there on attack is free in the knowledge that he can bomb on and affect the attacking areas, that he's got a man behind him holding it. Now if Rodri wasn't there, if Rodri's another striker for example, and we've got De Bruyne bombing on, if he loses the ball, there's a tendency to have this area here completely free, because next to him is a roaming playmaker. Now even if this was a defensive midfielder, say defensive midfielder, he's still going to be isolated and left by himself playing with a Manzala. It can work, you've just got to be super confident in your team ability to hold on to the ball and dominate matches. Nothing's definite in this game, there's always different ways to do things, but the following few clips are my best formations to get the best out of Manzala. First up, 4-3-3. Loads of flexibility in a 4-3-3. In this particular 4-3-3, the Manzala will combine nicely with the winger in these areas there, and the inverted wing back can cover the Manzala, so you can basically put him on attack. 4-3-3, great option for a Manzala. The diamond formation is probably the best formation you can use a Manzala for if you've got a really good attacking one with the ability to cross a ball like Kevin De Bruyne. He's going to combine here with the wing back. Now the wing back doesn't have to get all the way down to the byline if you've got a Manzala as quality as De Bruyne. Now here's a take on a 4-4-2. It's a very narrow 4-4-2, but it's still 4-4-2. Now what we've got here is a double Manzala. Sometimes I like to use a double Manzala. It's sexy, it's quite a flair tactic, but on this occasion we've got our wing back bombing down one side, we've got a Manzala backing him up, and on the other side we've got an attacking Manzala doing more aggressive work with the wing back backing him up. More options. That's just a couple of examples there, but you kind of get the gist where it's going to be working, where the balance is needed out wide, where it's not needed. There's all sorts of different ones you can use. Wing-back systems are great for Manzalas as well. Basically where there's a little gap, or you need to link something up a bit better, Manzala can come into play. When would I not use a Manzala? Like I said in those previous videos, in those two central midfielder roles, I think you're going to get a bit exposed, so stay away from those. Not saying it doesn't work, just my opinion. It's all about making your tactic make sense, and this occasion with two Manzalas in the centre of the park, it doesn't make a lot of sense. You've got one going out there, one going out there. Granted, this might be a bit of an extreme example, but I'm just trying to show you what may happen. If you press the analysis tab, you can basically see that you're going to be left with gaps in these areas. Now, some people try and get around this when they want to play Manzala in a 4-4-2 by asking their fullbacks to drop into inverted, just like this, meaning they'll come into these areas here. As we go to the analysis tab, you can see it's a bit more covered, but you are giving up some width there, so you need to weigh it up. You can use this. It's a very ballsy move and not one I'd recommend, but it can be done. I've shown you real life examples of Manzalas, but who's a good example in game, and what sort of stats are we looking for and attributes to make the perfect Manzala for your team? He's in the thumbnail, and I'm going to show you Kevin De Bruyne. Right, obviously we can't all get players like Kevin De Bruyne in the game, but it's a good one to base it on. Let's have a look at his stats. Now, first things first, this season's gone incredibly well, and Kevin De Bruyne as a Manzala has scored 27 goals. Now, don't expect that from your Manzala. This guy is elite. What we're looking for is a good amount of goals, but we're also looking for assists as well. And to get the assists, what do we have? We need crossing, dribbling, you need your first touch, passing, technique, vision, flair, decisions. These are all hugely important things for your Manzala. So you're looking for the flair approach. Now, he's in midfield, so his work rate's going to be important. You're not going to be looking at tackling so much because he's not there for that. You're going to have to put players around him that will do that job for him. Now, bear in mind the positions he's also going to get into. Look, Kevin De Bruyne scored 27 times this season, so long shots and finishing ability is going to be important as well. The scary thing in that save is it's only February and he scored 27 times, so what he's going to end up with, I do not know, but let's look for a more affordable version of the Manzala and what we search for. You have a couple of options. You can either pick the ones that you really want to focus on, bang them in the search tab and go for the look, or you can obviously use a lot easier, highlight key attributes of role, drop it down to midfield role, find yourself your Manzala. I always put it on attack because that's going to cover support and attack. Press that and that'll cover them all. They're pretty much the ones I chose anyway, a couple more here and there. So it's going to start you on 15, so this is going to give you the elite players. As we press OK, you guessed it, a big fat 0, because we're being too optimistic in our search, so we drop a few of them down. So it's prioritizing which ones you drop down. Two options here. You can either go back to your search, so we go to edit search, and we've got all our attributes down this side here. We can start dropping them down by a point here and there, or a quicker version for you as we come off this, you can go to this button here, the match button. So drop the match button down and you can match 9 or 10 or 12 of the attributes. It's not going to tell you which one it's going to drop, so it's not going to be as accurate, but it's quicker. So if we just drop it in half, say 8 out of 16, you can see a rake of players suddenly pop up. Your big hitters are obviously going to be featured, such as your Kimmiches and your SMS and your Toni Kroos, but you're also going to get some hidden gems in there as well. If we drop it down all the way down to the bottom, we're going to find some players of a lower value and a lower age. So we've also got more reasonably priced players at a better age for us as well. Example here, you've got Yassine Adli, one to keep an eye on, David Turnbull from Celtic, Yusuf Yazici from Lille. There you go. And look at that, he's got pretty much everything you want from Manzala. He's not elite level, but he's going to get there, and he's only 25 years old. Even then, when you compare him to KDB, he's still got things in his favour. His physicals are better. Obviously, KDB is the ultimate, but this guy's only 25. He's way cheaper. For a lot of teams that we're going to be managing, he's a great option. Let's have a little look in match on the 2D so you can see the movement patterns that your Manzala's going to do. So it's Kevin De Bruyne in this instance. I've got him highlighted there. There he is. Now, at the minute, Everton have got the ball down here through Jean-Paul Gamanin. My pronunciations are hilarious. Bear with me through FM22 for more mess-ups. So watch when the Everton player loses the ball. So as we play it on, there he goes. Passes it. Now he's lost it. Now De Bruyne is there. His first movement was from there to go out wide. As we play it on, Rodgers gets the ball to Laporte. Now look at De Bruyne's position, right? That is an essential midfield position. He's starting to come down here. It's really good if you want to overload a certain side of the pitch, like we're doing here. We've got 1, 2, 3. So we've got winger, wing back, and Manzala down the right hand side. Okay, let's remove my fat head from the scene. So we've got Laporte here on the ball. I want you to keep an eye on Kevin De Bruyne down here. You can see how wide he is. Now Laporte's got the ball. De Bruyne, Manzala on attack, remember. Look at the forward movement. Pause it there. He's the most advanced player we've got. It's not hard to see why he scored so many goals. As the ball comes to him, he's out wide. He lays it to Jesus. He's still now in the box, so he's not going to stay out wide when he gets it. Masala is not a winger, remember. He's still a central player who plays in these gaps and likes to burst into there or whip a ball across. Playing it on, De Bruyne sees the ball comes back out, so he goes towards Walker to link up with him. There we go. Linking up with Walker, gets to the byline and whips the cross in. Now Ruben Dias has got the ball and we've got a bit of an overload down the right hand side. We've got Ruben Dias there, Kyle Walker, De Bruyne and Jesus pretty much holding hands now. Because there's that many players down this side, De Bruyne is going to do an interesting movement here. There he goes. He darts infield, so he's not stuck outside. Darts infield, doesn't get the ball, but comes back out. Then he gets the ball and plays more like a playmaker, letting Walker and Jesus do the wide work. De Bruyne gets himself in the box, links up with Walker, and just like that, there's a penalty been awarded, thanks to Kevin De Bruyne's Manzala movement. It's a really good position. It's really good. When you've got a player with the intelligence and technical ability to pull it off, it can turn into one of your best creative options. Now, when the ball's on the other side of the pitch, so way away from the side your Manzala's attacking, he'll turn into a more traditional attacking midfielder and try and get himself into the box to provide a goal threat, as we see here. As we're playing it on, the ball's on the far side with Cancelo. Look at De Bruyne's position, more central. Goes down the line to Grealish and look at De Bruyne there. Right into the box, looking to be a goal threat. Very much like a late arriving midfielder, Lampard-esque. Grealish gets the ball. And De Bruyne is now central in a central forward position. Final attacking clip here. There's De Bruyne. Rodri's got the ball. De Bruyne is just there. So not only is he going to charge down here, provide a goal threat and whip balls in, he's still one of your best creative forces. And this is why passing is so important. As we play it on, Rodri finds De Bruyne in that channel. Not wide, not central, but central enough. Has a little look. And this is where the vision and the passing comes into play. He sees Foden. Lays it down to Foden. Look at his first movement after he's played the ball because he's on attack duty. He doesn't just sit, he bombs into the box. Foden gets the ball. Who's now in the central forward position? De Bruyne. Ball comes across from Walker. De Bruyne's there and just forces another save out of the Everton goalkeeper. Great attacking stuff right now in defensive work. Remember, he is still a midfielder, so he will do some defensive work, but he's going to be more in the upper side of the pitch. So he's not going to want to defend in your half. Higher up the pitch like this clip shows. So throw into Everton, deep in their own half. Dinia's got it here. There's De Bruyne there, marking Iwobi. So he's going to press in these areas here. So don't be fooled to think that Manzala's not going to give you any defensive work. He will. He will. As the ball comes in from Dinia, there's De Bruyne in Iwobi's face. Wins it back straight away. Wins it back straight away. And because he's an attacking midfielder, rather than thinking, right, I've won the ball back, I'll give it up. Like a ball-winning midfielder may, or defensive midfielder, De Bruyne is the opposite. He wants to cause attacking movements. As we play it on, look at him bomb down the right-hand side, get to the byline, and whip the ball across. That is a little snapshot of the Manzala in action and what it can do for your team. If you're playing a defensive tactic or a free in midfield, a Manzala can transform your attacking intentions like De Bruyne showed. He can play there, but he's going to have a big impact out there. When the ball's on the other side of the pitch, down this Foden side, he'll turn into a striker as well, basically playing a bit like an attacking midfielder. So Manzala, great role, just have the right players around him and get the right player for that role. It's great to be back doing Know Your Roles on Football Manager. Let me know down below if there's any particular role that you want me to focus on. I've got a few lined up, but I'm always open for suggestions.